Hello everyone. I welcome you all once again to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, this is Anjali. I'm currently pursuing my MD Dermatology from AIMS New Delhi. So internship is that particular period of time, is that particular phase of your life which is very important because this is the phase which is going to be followed by your examination. And this is the most troublesome phase because you need to do your internship duties, come back again, study. It's like exhaustion followed by studying, which is the toughest task out of all. And in this period, one of the biggest problems that you face along with it, that you really need to deal with, is those kind of interns who basically skip their duties. Either they might be roaming around, they might be studying, and you need to be their replacement at that particular point of time. And this was totally chaotic at my time, even. I think everyone who is in internship or who is going to be in internship must have faced these kind of situations. And into such a kind of troublesome period, you need to keep your brains active in a really calm state and composed so that you can study at the same time with the same pace, with that much amount of attention and manage up everything because this is the time when you need to make your RR, concise your notes, giving GTs, giving MCQs, showing up every day. And so this turns out to be the most troublesome and chaotic phase of your preparation journey, and which is kind of very hindering to all the students when they message me out. So this particular video is dedicated to address all these stuffs. And I'm going to give you a major map kind of thing as to how you can plan out your internship in the most effective manner possible. So let's dive into this. So firstly, I'm gonna tell you about how grossly your timetable or scheduling should look like in the 1 year. So the first 6 months is that particular time where you should revise your main notes, and along with that you need to create your RR notes. Now, when I say that, people usually just poke me around that you need to create your RR notes, as in you need to write your RR notes. So see, I'm that kind of person who has never written any kind of notes. I'm that printed version kind of bacha who is very much acceptable to the printed and easier stuffs rather than, making up so much efforts to write. And I'm that kind of person who will just waste a lot of time in beautification of the notes. So first thing, when I'm talking about, I used my initial first 6 months in making my notes much effective was in terms of ki I would keep my main notes, along with that the RR of the same subject, and I'll be reading out my main notes and simultaneously would be looking at my RR notes also. Whatever things that I find additional or is extra or is informative or is PYQ oriented, which is not included in the main contextual text of my RR notes, I will be adding these to my upper, left, right margin, or maybe I can use the sticky notes and just add it up at some particular places. Right? And now, secondly, what I used to do, like for example, if this is the particular text and there are PYQs and PYTs written in it, I used to use two markers, like the pink and the neon color, the neon yellow, I think I used to use that thing. And like pink se INICTK questions, I used to mark it up, and with the other, I used to mark it up the Neet PGK questions. So it used to create a kind of segregation as to how should I focus onto which kind of questions, which pattern of questions, which aspect of the questions while dealing with both the kinds of examinations, which are totally different into the approach they are made up of. Right? So this is the first step in your preparation, that once you enter internship, your first target should be making of your revision notes, adding up stuffs from your main notes, so that once the first 6 months of your internship is completed, you have such a kind of note so that you don't revert back to your main notes. You will be totally stuck with these notes only, and as gradually you are giving the MCQs, the GTs, the PYQs, everything would be added up in the revision notes itself. Right? Now the second question that comes with it is, we are not able to manage time, ma'am. Our internship is so exhaustive. In my college, they make us do this and that and everything around it. See, even my college had a very exhaustive kind of internship. We used to do a lot of clerical things which are not supposed to be done by a doctor, but we have to do it. That's the protocol. Nobody can change. It's the Indian scenario. But see, I'll like to tell you that at what all points you should make or create time for yourself and find out time for yourself so that you can study. First of all, see, not every day is going to be that exhaustive, right? You'll be having like 9 to 5, 9 to 6 ki duties. Not every day is going to be those emergency shifts where you're going on like 12 to 24 hour ka shifts. So when you're having a normal daily routine shift, you need to manage up at least 4 to 5 hours a day for your study. That's really important. I do understand after 9 to 5 you'll be really exhausted, but see, you don't have time, and रगड़ना तो पड़ेगा खुद को बेटा, क्योंकि it is a race and you need to give up much of the efforts at this particular time only, because the more you revise at this particular time, this is going to be beneficial. And trust me, once you clear this examination, you'll be at a good peace. उतना ज़्यादा नहीं पढ़ना पड़ेगा. At least you'll be out of this too much of rat race, right? So firstly, you need to manage a 4 to 5 hours a day. जस्ट स्केड्यूल इट आउट कि कब तुम्हारे पास इतना टाइम होता है, कौन सा डे यू आर फ्री, कौन सा डे यू हैव इमरजेंसी ड्यूटीज़. सेकेंडली, सी आई ऑलवेज टोल्ड यू कि तुम्हें MCQs करना है, बट फॉर MCQs यू डोंट नीड टू टेक आउट द 4 to 5 hour वाला टाइम पीरियड बिटवीन योर इंटर्नशिप के ड्यूटीज़. लेट मी रिमाइंड यू वट आई यूज टू डू इट. लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई हैव माई इंटर्नशिप ड्यूटी एंड लाइक फॉर half an hour or 1 hour I'm free, then I used to do MCQs at that particular time only. Like 100 MCQs का custom model बना दिया and immediately I used to solve it down. I won't wait for कि I'll get a particular time where I'll go to the library in a particular environment and then I'll study. You don't need to create an environment. You want to be having that study wala environment every time. You need to stuck to your process at any place you are in. While I used to go to my home, while I was traveling in, vehicles, I used to study that time. I used to do MCQs because that is the time when you can't revise things, but you can easily do MCQs, right? So this is the second place where you can study, where you can find out time. Thirdly, you need to give up leisure activities, definitely. दोस्तों के साथ घूमना, मस्ती करना, जो कॉलेज के फेस्ट होते हैं उसमें पार्टिसिपेट करना, you need to just cut it down. You can participate in certain things, definitely, because see, it's very exhaustive and you can't be totally just all the time studying. Like what I used to do, I used to keep my break on Saturdays. I used to just preserve the Sundays because Sundays is a time जहाँ पे तुम्हें पूरा दिन मिलेगा to study. And I wanted कि I have a पूरा दिन का time so that I could study well, I could take rest between. And Saturday was the day when I used to do it कि like ठीक है, Saturday is a weekend, in the weekend vibe and just go and have your leisure activities. That's it. On the other days, I never ever used to do the same thing. If I have time, if my duties are from 9, I'll go to, maybe I wake up at 7, maybe I wake up at 8, go to library and then study. So see, these are the things where you manage your time, and these are the efforts which will ultimately accumulate or accumulate to have very good long lasting results. Trust me, because at the end, when you have revised so many times now, you frequently tend to ask this question to me as well कि मैम याद ही नहीं रह रहा है. So basic thing and the strategy that comes with it is the more you revise, the better you retain. And internship में जितनी बार revision किया होगा उतना better रहेगा. इसी short 1 year के period में the more you revise, the better you retain. And for the more revision, you need more time. And for the more time, you need to create much extra efforts in between your internship duties. And I hope you get it कि ये तुम्हें समझना पड़ेगा, ये तुम्हें खुद से curate out करना पड़ेगा. I did it for myself. Even my internship was very exhaustive, but I did it. I used to find out 4 to 5 hours a day. There was no excuse into it. Even if I had the worst unit coming up into my internship, I don't care. I have to manage it anyhow. Right? Now the third thing that comes up कि एक बार तुमने first 6 months में तुम्हारे revision notes बन गए. Now how do you progress about and how do you go on about? So my plan was first 6 months completed the revision. You have the revision notes now, it becomes really easier. And trust me, when you make those revision notes, you'll feel it ki yaar, yes, now the bulk is come. Even though you have almost written almost amount of information that was there in your main notes, but once you see that 60, 70, 60, 70 pages, you'll feel like हाँ बहुत कम है, and you'll be easily able to revise, right? So what I used to do and what I did as well was कि the next 3 months would be a good set of revision, and फिर जो next 3 months में 1.5, 1.5. It's like I'm having 3 sets of revision after my RR notes has been formed. क्योंकि next 3 months में you'll be just acclimatizing to yourself कि okay, I've written this here, okay, this is the way I've done it, okay, this was the reason for it, okay, this statement has been written, but this was the reason behind it. The next time when you read, your speed will become twice of its. Understand? So This is the kind of strategy that you should follow while doing it, so that you have at least 4 acha revision while undergoing internship. In a period of, this is I'm talking about in a period of 1 year. And if examinations are delayed or late, you get extra one more set of revision thing. The more you revise, the better you retain. This is the basic strategy behind everything that I'm talking about. अब इन सब के साथ, as I've always reiterated this fact in many of my videos, every day 100 MCQs without any excuse, be it emergency duty, be it थके हुए हो, be it दिमाग काम नहीं कर रहा है, be it मन नहीं कर रहा है पढ़ने का, all these बहाना, all these excuses are included in this particular heading, that कुछ भी हो, you need to solve 100 MCQs every day. Now the second question that comes up कि मैम GTs कैसे देना है? So see, GTs, even if you are not prepared, like let's say you are just baseline at this particular point of time. Like you started your internship, you are at the baseline, you haven't studied at all, you know nothing about all the 19 subjects. Then I usually recommend कि let's take it कि तुम 50% of your syllabus कर लो and then you start giving GTs. But if you have some idea about all the 19 subjects, then I usually recommend that go along. The GTs should be taken simultaneously, give it every 2 weekly. Like what my strategy was कि Marrow में जिस frequency से GTs आती थी, I used to give it in that frequency only. I did not used to take extra efforts to give it from other platforms at the initial phase of my preparation, when I was in the initial parts of my internship. But as soon as my internship was ending, like the last 2 to 3 months, and just 2 to 3 months before Inicet and just 4 to 5 months before Neet, I used to give it GTs from different various platforms. Right? So this change in GT का frequency and from the source would come in the last 4 to 5 months, because वहाँ पे तुम्हें different sources से questions भी पता होने चाहिए. So you can give your GTs at 1 weekly at that particular point of time. But in my initial phase of preparation, I used to give it 2 weekly, because अभी तुम्हें RR भी बनाना है, उसको रिवाइज भी करना है, PYQs एंड जो भी MCQs तुम सॉल्व कर रहे हो या GTs तुम दे रहे हो, उसकी नोट्स भी ऐड करना है. सो दिस इज द टाइम व्हेन यू हैव टू डू एक्स्ट्रा वर्क. एंड में यू डोंट हैव टू डू दिस एक्स्ट्रा वर्क, यू जस्ट हैव टू डू द MCQs एंड द GTs एंड एनालाइज करके ख़त्म कर दो. सो यू गेटिंग माई पॉइंट. You have to do MCQs every day and GTs every 2 weekly without any excuses. And let me remind you, it's not about how much content of information you have. That is the base of your preparation. But the final resultant is how effective are you in excluding the other 3 options. ये MCQ examination है. ये कोई UPSC की examination नहीं है जहाँ तुम्हें बड़ा बड़ा paragraph लिखना है so that you know every particular line of your text. No, you need to know only that thing which is MCQ oriented. You don't have to apply your brains into remembering each and every stuff. You need to know, okay, if this question comes, this is the buzzword and this is something that they're expecting, and if they twist this question in this particular manner, this is something they're expecting, this is something they want from us. Get it? Now this is the pro tip, that is PSM ki postings. I think be it any college in entire India, PSM ki posting is that posting which is gonna be chill, which is gonna give you the maximum amount of time to study. And you have to utilize this very effectively and efficiently, because I've seen many of the students who mess up with this PSM ki posting and then they literally have no time to do anything. And that turns out to be really exhaustive. And for me, I was very lucky that my PSM postings were initially only planned. And my revision strategy was also that kind कि first 6 months में I had to make the revision notes. So I wanted time at that particular point of time. And since it collided, I used it very effectively. Now you might be in a dilemma कि ma'am, my PSM postings are late. So what should I do? See, अगर PSM postings तुम्हारी late आ रही तो that is also equally beneficial, because at the end you need more time to revise, because at the end क्या होता है, जैसे एग्जामिनेशन के पहले जो 10 दिन होते हैं, your pace, your speed, everything is just to the top. And at that time your revision speed becomes really faster. Initially कुछ भी कर लो, एग्जामिनेशन नहीं है, नहीं पढ़ोगे, तुम पढ़ोगे भी तो इतना धीरे पढ़ोगे कि आज तुम गाइटन गिनोंग जैसी बुक लिखोगे. Trust me when I say this. Right? So if you are having PSM की postings at the end, that's well and good. But अगर starting में तो you can just follow blindly what I did, what I created, how I made my notes at that particular point of time. So please effectively use your PSM postings without failure, because that also creates a much larger difference. And lastly, the most fruitful advice is that just don't listen to people who try to demean you, who try to kind of decrease your confidence out of things, because you will hear people saying about you that this particular person has started his preparation from this year and could not make it up. This particular person always used to stood up in under 50 rank in Marrow, Prep Ladder, DAM, Cerebellum, be it any platform, and could not make it in Neet and landed up around 5,000 to 6,000 rank. Some people make it up in Inicet, they don't make it up in Neet, and the other way is vice versa. Like blah blah things. Eventually, even when I had a very good rank when I was giving my Marrow test and Marrow examinations, I had people speaking about all these things. See, once you start practicing Marrow ki questions, when you are so acclimatized to its pattern, you just remember all the questions, you get those questions easily correct, you don't need to do anything, and then you are in a kind of delulu. And when the actual examination comes, which is not from Marrow, then you'll have different marks. And I've seen people going to 5,000, 6,000 rank from a rank of under 1,000 in the preparation journey. So these are the things which happened with me as well. So just ignore these kind of people specifically during your internship attempt, because see, किसी भी platform से करोगे, every platform has a good amount of question, has a good approach to the questions, and I do understand this concept of acclimatization, and that's why I always say you to break this concept by giving GTs from multiple platforms, giving MCQs from multiple platforms, and getting exactly amount of equivalent number of marks in the same makes you stand in a sequence, in a queue, that yeah, you are going to have a seat. But don't just blandly hear from these kind of people who try to always lessen down your confidence. So take care, goodbye, have a good day, and all the very best.